Let me say something most people don't expect to hear. Some of the biggest lessons I learned about fitness didn't come from the gym. They came from Naval Special Warfare training, right? And here's the part that might surprise you. A lot of what we're taught would actually break most men down if they tried to apply it in real life today, right? Because what works in an elite military environment doesn't always work in civilian life. And that realization completely changed how I approach my training, right? So today, I'm gonna break it down for you, right? What Navy Special Warfare taught me about fitness, what I had to unlearn, and how I apply those lessons now to help veteran dads and busy men stay strong, stay lean, and stay capable, right? So let me give you the truth in 9 words. Elite military training taught me what not to do. If we haven't met yet, my name is Nyere. I'm a retired Senior Chief Special Warfare Combat Crewman. I spent years operating in an environment where performance was non-negotiable, right? Where training wasn't optional, where physical capability was tied directly to mission success. And back then, the standard was simple. You push harder, go longer, endure more. And that's what works, right? In that environment. But then life changed, right? I transitioned out. I became a husband. And I was a husband at the time, right? A father, a man with responsibilities outside of the mission. And that's when I realized something important, right? The training model had to evolve. We had to change, we had to become better, right? So let's talk about what the environment teaches you. So lesson 1, mental toughness is real. You learn that real quickly, all right? Your body can do more than your mind thinks. You can operate under fatigue, you can perform under pressure, you can keep going when everything says stop, right? That lesson stays with you forever. It doesn't change. Lesson 2, discipline over feelings. You don't wait for motivation, you execute, period. Every day. That level of discipline is powerful. Lesson number 3, work capacity, right? You build an incredible engine. Long days, high output. Constant movement, that capacity becomes part of that everyday life, right? It becomes part of your identity. Lesson 4, mission first. Everything revolves around the mission, right? Your comfort doesn't matter. The objective matters. So I'm gonna give you some things though that what I had to unlearn, right? Some of the greatest trainings in the world, but I also had to unlearn a lot of stuff. So this is where things started to shift, because what worked there doesn't always work here, all right? So the first thing I had to unlearn, more is not always better, right? In special warfare, more work equals better. In real life, more work equals burnout. When you add career stress, family stress, sleep limitations, your recovery is limited, right? So, and if you don't respect that, your body starts to break down. All right, second thing I had to unlearn, you can't outwork recovery. This is one of the biggest lessons, right? You can't just grind your way forward forever. Eventually, your joints will talk, your energy starts to drop, your performance declines, recovery becomes a limiting factor, right? Unlearn number 3. Pain is not always progress. In that environment, pain is expected. But in long-term life, pain is information. And if you ignore it, you shorten your training lifespan. Unlearn number 4, training must fit life, all right? This was the biggest shift for me. Training can't be the center of your life anymore. It has to fit inside your life, all right? This is where everything came together for me. I realized I didn't need less discipline. I needed a better system, right? So the first shift I had to make was from intensity to sustainability. Instead of asking how hard can I go, I started asking what can I repeat consistently. The second shift I had to make was from volume to efficiency. Instead of hours in the gym, I focused on focused sessions, clear structure, intentional work. The third thing I had to shift, I had to go from ego to longevity. It stopped being about how much weight. It stopped being about how many workouts. It stopped being about how hard I can push, and became more about how long I could stay strong, right? Fourth shift, from random to system, right? So this is where the 3-hour hero method was built. 3 focused sessions, structured training, built for real life. Now, when I coach veteran dads and busy men, I don't tell them to train like they're still in the military, right? I teach them strength as a foundation, right? So conditioning with purpose, recovery as a priority, consistency over intensity, because the goal is no longer survive the mission, right? The goal is now thrive in life. Here's what I want you to understand. You don't need to go back to who you were. You need to evolve into who you are now. That guy who's stronger, smarter, more intentional, because the mission changed, right? But the standard didn't change. If you're a veteran dad or a busy professional and you're trying to figure out how to train in this season of your life, you don't need more random workouts, you need structure. That's exactly what I build with my one-on-one individual design coaching. Everything is customized around your life, your schedule, your goals, your limitations. But if you're not ready yet, if you're not ready for coaching yet, start simple. Download my free guide, 5 Keys to Boosting Your Metabolism. It'll give you a clear starting point at that point. Because at the end of the day, the mission evolves, but the standard doesn't. Stay strong. Parallel performance, elite standards, everyday life. Salute.